Boom. We have someone who uses a staff. Is it an... Am I gonna guess that it's not an Evan? I don't think. We're gonna have to guess.
It's at the top of the post.
God damn it. Oh, it's a bishop. Okay, you're leveling as a bishop?
Yes, for now. I don't have the money to just transfer into Ice Lightning and transfer back. And I also don't have the nodes.
Brave Soul. Okay.
It's not that bad.
No, it is actually not.
There's like one map that's good. The Hidden Iliad Forest.
Wait, but that one's good for everyone, right?
Yeah, but I'm on EU reboot, so that's
Okay, EU. So you can actually play the game when you want to. That's why you
I literally just go train whenever I want. When there's MVPs up, I can just go to them and I don't lose my map.
Yep. Damn. Okay. What a different way to... You're truly playing a private server at that point. Really different rules. Okay, well, that's good to know. All right, so right now, so your bishop, you're level 220... What was it? 228?
Yeah, just leveled to 229 yesterday.
Maybe, exactly, maybe 229. So is that how you kind of play now? You just, if you see an MVP, you hop in and you train a little bit. If you don't see one, you do some other stuff, or...
Yeah, I just I grab a totem and then go train for 2 hours. Put like wealth on and everything, so I can actually make some money.
And what are your playing hours looking like during the week and weekend? Do you just have like time all the time, or is it still pretty busy?
Pretty much. Right now it's like every day, couple hours in the evening.
And then mainly weekends and...
Yeah, it's like 4 hours a day, and then weekends can be big depending on what's going on.
Okay. How do you make your money? What do you know? Any like rough estimate on what your income is?
It's hard to say. Depends on how many totems I pop. Like it's Maple Tourists, and then however many totems I pop is a couple 100 mil each.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because I did see you have some meso and drop rate in your accessories already, so that's making you a bit extra money.
Yep. Yeah, I cubed for that on the cube sale.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very new.
Yep. Okay. But so you're enjoying the new rates?
Yes, it's great.
It's always it's kind of surprising how big of an increase that is. I mean, your base meso obtain is just 100, and you can more than double it, right, with your invulnerability and equips, which is pretty big. Why
No, I was going to go for all the equips, like get 100 meso obtain.
Mm-hmm.
But then I rolled into like 21% int on accident on a couple items.
Yeah, I saw that 21 int on unique. Yeah, you would keep that. Yeah, that would be kind of silly in your current position to roll over that. That's definitely true. I just noticed the staff kind of looks like a sick guitar. Don't you think?
Now that you say, yeah.
It looks like a really cool design for an electric guitar. Somebody should do that as a cosplay or something.
But I hold it the wrong way around,
Are you a lefty?
No, as in like the character with the staff.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. He's like, he's kind of like one of those angry rock stars at the end of a concert that just starts swinging at things and just like starts trashing it. So are you doing, since you have this one and you have it invested, are you planning on doing more of like a solo progress thing, or is that kind of what ends up happening because EU?
Not necessarily because of EU. It's just like kind of like waited with joining a guild because I couldn't be arsed. I found this weapon. It accidentally tiered up to the legendary.
Oh, okay. You were just using cubes to reroll and...
Yeah, like I was just using some cubes to roll it to unique, I think, and then it accidentally hit legendary.
Okay.
So I just cubed it until I hit magic attack.
Yeah. And then it also hit int and boss damage, so...
Yes, I got really lucky on that one.
So you didn't really invest that much money into it?
No, I want to kind of invest in like maybe a Fafnir.
Yeah, okay. No, for sure, yeah. Because the set bonus.
I killed Siva the first time in the last reset.
Mm-hmm.
So now that the reset's gone again, I can hopefully get the weapon this week.
So are you like soloing, including CRA, and then looking for party, Lotus, Damien, that kind of stuff?
That's kind of it. I struggled, I duoed Siva with Akana.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we both couldn't be arsed to learn the mechanics.
And the bind is very useful, right?
The bind is so good.
And then
they hit the bind and we both saw what kind of damage we were doing.
Benediction plus domain together.
Yeah, that's nice.
Your final damage is going up to like 300%? Maybe even more. My hero was going up to I think 545% final damage in the max domain with all of my stuff popped. pretty ridiculous. That was without benediction too. If you add benediction to that, it would be crazy.
Yeah, but only if you have a high stat bishop.
Yeah. You have to have a lot of bishop. But when is it like? I think they want bishops at least to be like 30k to join Lucid and up. I think
that gives you what, like 17 to almost 20% final damage. I think, depending on how high the skill is, and 3 tiers of attack speed.
Yeah. The tiers of attack speed is so weird. Like in KMS, I guess it makes sense, but in GMS, everyone's already always capping without, so it doesn't really add anything, which is kind of sad.
Yeah,
the only people it adds for is like I think Cannoneer, and a few other classes that they benefit a little bit, but not enough to get it themselves. So that if they get it from Domain or from Benediction, then I guess it's a little bit extra, but not as impactful.
Yeah, but it's not up all the time either. So
yeah. What is it? The general uptime is like 1/4 of the time or something, 1/5.
Yeah, I think the cooldown's 3 minutes. It lines up with
Domain.
the big buff.
With Domain?
No,
with Infinity.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that final damage applied with everything else as well. Yeah, it's probably a big number.
And it's up for like just over 30 seconds. I don't have it leveled very high.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like the account is quite new. I started in October.
Oh yeah, okay, very fresh. And is there anything that you're specifically trying to achieve with this account, like that can help you specifically with?
I think I kind of want to go for like hard will maybe. See how high I can push it. Maybe if I get to that point, I might consider going even higher.
So definitely hard will, hard lucid runs, at least level 250, like around there.
Yeah.
And then definitely soloing, soloing Lotus and Damien should be quite a bit before that. Maybe party hard Lotus, hard Damien, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna see probably from next week on, because I haven't even done the pre-quest for Lotus and Damien. Like see if I can struggle those.
Oh yeah, strap yourselves in for those pre-quests. I mean, Damien is pretty fast, but the Lotus one is oof. Takes like 4 hours, 5 hours.
Oh Jesus! Okay.
Yeah. Damien is like 45 minutes, I think. It's not too bad. Because you only have to do the final chapter, and you immediately have access to all the chapters. And for Lotus, you also have to do the final chapter, but you have to do all the previous ones to get access to it. So you have to do the whole thing.
Right. So I just start at one then.
Yeah, you could do it like in etapas. You can do like one and then wait a little bit, do another one later. There's one thing that you can skip a lot of time in, or quite a lot of time. In the Lotus prequests, when you're sitting in a little airship, which is actually kind of the most fun part of the whole thing, but if you suicide twice in that mission, then it just skips the whole thing for you, and I think it saves like 10-15 minutes. But the sad thing is that's actually the most fun part of the whole prequest.
I'll probably just like actually read the stories and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
This is my main. It's the first time I've been up this high. Like I've played many times in the past, like from when there wasn't fourth job yet.
Oh yeah.
And there wasn't Europe Maple either. Like all the way back then, I just like play intermittently, and I think the highest before this was maybe a 180 Luminous.
Yeah, it's really different how the game plays now.
Yes.
How quickly you progress. It's definitely very different. Okay. So we get a feel for most of the stuff you're doing. Yeah, I guess you have everything. Are there any, since you've already gotten this far in the game, but you did come back pretty recently, are there any systems in the game that you feel that you don't know enough about yet that I can kind of clear up for you?
So I haven't done any of the transposing yet, but I watched the video. And then I did nothing stuck, so I'll watch it again once I like get to that stage.
Okay.
I should probably do my Commercy dailies.
Yeah, the prep work is the prep work would be to do normal arc every day for chance of dominators, would be to do Chaos Papillatus every week for chance of the pap marks, and yeah, to do voyages to get back up the narrows. That's mainly the things to look at now. And if you get any of these items, I would probably disproportionately apply Eternal Flames to those items to get a slightly higher chance of getting those really good flames.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah, that's like the only prep work that you should be doing for that for now. And then once you get to actually doing it, that's basically, you start thinking about that once everything is like 17 starred, and once you're looking at like a full Superior Gallic set, that's when you start thinking about working that in, I guess. So
yeah, fair enough. No, it's just I figured I should be doing the dailies, but I'm not.
well, yeah.
There's so many dailies, like daily
Yep.
story is a thing.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, coming up with some kind of internal priority list so that if you only have like half an hour to do them, you know, like which two of them are definitely most important and then which ones are not as important. If you generally do the ones that are most important, then whenever you can't play for a day or you don't have enough time and you can't do all of them, then it won't be as bad because in the grand scheme of things, you won't really lose that much progress. But if your standard is to not do them, then every time you don't do them, it's going to feel bad.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Like I think the symbol dailies first thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And the further
Yeah.
you go, the more you can speed those up. So that's always.
But also the more you get.
Yep. It always increases the amount until you finish a region. The amount that you get always increases in total. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I do those, and then I do Monster Park and Maple Tour.
Yep.
Versus, and then I usually once I do those, I either pop a totem and level for 2 hours if I have the time, or I go and level Legion.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Everything else in the game, stuff like with familiars and everything, that's all clear.
Yeah, familiars just take a lot of time. I think I don't really want to farm them.
Yeah, it's a little wonky right now. You can get a little bit of gains early on, specifically like the IED, and then yeah, and then we basically hold off until the later areas once you start actually getting a lot of them while training.
Yeah, I've been transferring everything I get from my mules.
Yep.
Through the storage, and then seeing if I can get a second 15% IED familiar, because I only have the one.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just like it's on a slow thing.
Yeah, it's not really it's something you can grind out very easily.
So I've got a couple questions.
Yeah, sure. You can you can do it for those.
Nothing big like system rated, but like how often are they Sunny Sundays? Do they rotate? Like how often do they rotate around? Because I know there's the Star Force coming up.
Mm-hmm.
That I was gonna take advantage of. Like you can see the Star Force in my equips is very low.
Yeah, with the 30% off getting up to 15. Yeah. So every time there's a patch, they just announce new ones, and if you keep track of exclamation mark events, I have all of the currently announced events there, including the Sunny Sundays. So typically, if you look at this, you can see where the last one is that was announced, and the last one is December 13th, and then December 16th is going to be the new patch, and then they'll just announce the new batch, which will either be, typically it's like batches of 4 weeks or 6 weeks. The max I've ever seen is like 8 weeks, so it's anywhere between 4 to 8 that get announced on the patch notes, and then we just wait until the new patch notes until we know the new ones. And it's
like
typically, so it's typically rearranged. Roughly, they come, all of the separate Sunny Sundays come back at the same types of intervals. I think this Sunday we have the Innerability reroll, right? That's pretty important. And then we have, Magnificent Soul events. We have the 3 different types of Star Force events. We have the 1+1, the 30% off, and the 5, 10, 15. And they typically alternate between that in a relatively balanced manner, but sometimes there's like 3 Superior Soul events like really close together, and then there isn't one for like 6 months, and then you have, your characters just, nothing but soul shards everywhere. And then sometimes they do 2 Innerability reroll events pretty close, and then they don't have one for a while. That's all up to GMS itself that they can reorder those. The only ones that are kind of stuck is if there's an event going on right now. If on Sunday there's like double the coins or the points or the point capacity, something like that. Or if there are shop sales. Sometimes they're not at the exact same time in the event, but if there are sales in KMS, then there typically are also sales in GMS, just maybe on different weeks. But other than that, we don't really have anything that's like predictive other than just wait for the next patch notes and check them out.
All right. And then souls, because on the last soul event I opened a bunch and didn't really get anything because I had like barely any souls by that point.
Yeah, that's normal. Yeah.
So do I just wait for the next one with opening because I don't have a Magnificent Soul?
Yeah, I would always. So there's 2 layers to the souls, right? One is that you want to get. So if you don't die in a boss, then whatever is. Okay, so you have the buff that you get from being a soul weapon. Then you have the passive buff from which soul you put in. And that's like the quality of the soul. And then there's the active skill that you can activate, which depends on the quality of the soul and which boss the soul is from, right?
Yep.
So typically, if there's a boss where you ever die, so if you lose door, that doesn't count as dying, so that your basic weapon and magic attack buff that you get from being a soul weapon, if that's charged before you go in, that doesn't reset until you actually have to go through the respawning. So that weapon and magic attack can stay a little bit longer. If you have any skill that you need to activate, this is all like maybe obsolete because it's really only for Demon Avenger who needs to know this, I guess. But activating the soul costs the energy, so it's really only like a mobbing thing if it's a summon, and then if it's a bossing thing, what you're really just looking for is that passive buff that you get, right? Like right now, the 20 intellect from the Clever Pink Bean, that'll always stay even when you're dead and when the 20 weapon and magic attack resets. So to go for that, you want to get the high tier souls, but when you're mobbing, some of those higher tier so souls that both have good passive buffs and also have a good effect of being maybe additional mobbing help as a summon. There's like a small overlap there, but it's pretty like cordoned off which bosses those are. Like it's Queen, Vellum, Magnus, Cygnus, and then everything higher level than that, basically. The only exception there that's like where you can get a summon that helps you pretty easily is like a normal Hilla and normal Ursus, which are also summons that can help you train that are more easily accessible because they're not, you don't need the Magnificent for that. The other ones, even though you don't need the Magnificent, the ones where you don't need the Magnificent are still hard to get because they're very high level bosses. And the ones where you do need Magnificent, of course, those are very rare. So in general, I would just always hold on to all the shards until there's a Magnificent Soul event and then just pop them all. And then once you get into like very late, then the exception becomes Lucid Souls, because there you would want a normal soul typically, because that's the static summon. So in general, yeah, just to hold on to all of it. And then temporarily, if you have something, Pink Bean is a decently high rank, so that that's why it still gives the 20 intellect. I think that's probably as good as it's going to get for now, honestly. Some people even feel like there's so little to be gained from the souls that they just take like an aesthetic soul so it looks nice. That's honestly not a huge loss of damage for people who do that. So,
like what kind of stats are you looking at for a Magnificent Soul?
So the Magnificent Soul gives you from a batch of random stats. And the higher the tier is, the better that batch of souls is. So typically you'll look for one of these souls here. I don't know. Are you watching the stream?
Yep.
Yeah. So one of these here will give you the tier SS. I think they're all on here. Dark Nilverse. Yeah. So these will be SS. And if you click that here and you scroll down, here you can see like if you have a Magnificent Soul, it'll give you one of these stats. So 3% attack. So typically 3% magic attack is like the one that you want to aim for, because percentage of magic attack is like the rarest stat. Skill's the best. Some people will keep the boss damage 7%, for example. Maybe the crit rate. I think for Bishop you definitely don't want the crit rate, right? Because
no.
I'm pretty sure you have like 100% without doing anything.
Yeah, it's, with the Phantom Link and decent Sharp Eyes, it's 100.
Yeah, but I think even further in, you can even get rid of the Phantom Link, right? With a little bit of hyper stats and a little bit of increased Legion. I think you already hit 100% even without the Phantom Link.
Yeah, it's 15% I need to make up, so it's not too bad.
Yeah,
I think I just leveled Marksman to 140.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that would be, for some classes, this would be nice, because it basically means you can reset all the hyper stats. But for classes like you, this would also be bad. So typically you'd want to roll the magic attack, maybe the 5% all stat gives you something, and maybe the IED, but that's about it. So you don't have that many outs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different outcomes. So that's why you need, so not only do you need to kill a lot of bosses because it's random to get the shards, then you need to save the shards and need to get lucky during a Magnificent Soul event, and then you need to get lucky when you actually use them on your item to get the stats that you want. So there's like 3 layers of RNG to actually get what you want eventually. But that also means that this is in general like a pretty min-maxy thing. That can be a very long process. So as long as you do your bosses like regularly, and you save up all the shards and you use them during Magnificent Soul event. The only thing you can really do to expedite the process is do it on multiple characters, because the Magnificent Souls are tradable and not time limited. So if you get a Magnificent Soul on another character that's of the same tier, then you can transfer it over. So you can do normal Queen, normal Vellum, normal Cygnus maybe on a lower level character even. And then if you have enough, if you did it on enough characters, you can scale up in that way.
Oh, that's good.
Does that answer everything, or is there still something about
so
souls?
just wait, because the bonuses are small enough. Or like 3% magic attack is a lot, but it's also not enough to go and on the things for without the event.
Yeah, the standard rate for a Magnificent Soul is 1%, and then during the event it's 5%. So
that's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference, but also it's still pretty low, because it's 1 in 20 attempts and it's 10 souls, so it's 1 in 200 shards still on average. And then only 1 in 8 gives you the stat you want, so it's 1 in 1,600 shards. Yeah, so yeah, bad rates.
So I just got a Tyrant Cape yesterday, I think, or the day before. But I just got it. Is it worth investing? Because I have the Wings of Fate now, and those are pretty good. Like clean, they're very similar.
Oh, you did the whole storyline. Hang on, let's see here. Yeah, because I think leveled up. Let's see, 20 attack.
Yeah, they have the 8 base and then 20 from the level.
So they have 28, and what is the Tyrant Cape at?
It's 30.
Is it 30? Yeah. And then 50 base stat?
I think so. The base stat is quite a bit higher on the Tyrants.
Yeah, the Wings of Fate is 25, and I think the Tyrant is 50. The thing is, the Tyrant is flame advantage, so it'll be much easier to get a good flame on. But is that enough? So the major thing that I'm always looking at is like, do I switch and do I overinvest? Is of course like how much of a improvement can you possibly make, and then the second thing is like how long do you keep that item to make it worth, to get like any kind of mileage out of the money that you improve. But
yeah.
The flaming on the cape is free. You can drop it and talk to the NPC again to re-roll the flame. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, you can just drop them. I just got a bunch of garbage, and then I got 32 in, so I was like, sure.
Sure, I'll keep that. I see.
I dropped like 100 capes, I think.
Okay, wow, that's a lot. All right, before you like Star Force and cube it, I guess.
Yeah.
So the main thing would be that I would take into account is, okay, so what is the projected upgrade? You probably are not gonna Star Force Tyrant, probably not. In some niche situations where someone is like, okay, I want to solo progress the whole thing, that means you're gonna get a lot of mileage out of your Tyrant Cape. You might even considering like 5-starring your Tyrant Cape, which is of course pretty expensive, but gives you a lot of stat early on. And then you would also get it to unique or maybe even further to be able to solo Lotus and Damien until you can get your Abzo Cape. Since you're already this level, since I think, you have to do the pre-quest, but I think you won't have I don't think so, too much trouble finding parties and getting to killing Lotus and Damien. I think you're already on your way, and are you doing the weeklies, like the Scrapyard, Dark World Tree, those ones?
Not yet.
Okay, that would be a good thing to start doing as well. It's not that much time. It could be like a lot of time in one day, but in general, for the whole week, it's not that bad. And you need to do them for quite a few weeks to be able to afford the Absolab items. So the sooner you get started on that, would advise to do that.
Yeah, probably start this weekend.
Yeah, they reset from Sunday to Monday. And if you check my dailies command, there's also a link to the wiki page that shows which one of them are like worse to do, which ones are in worse maps or have bad respawn or just take long, and then you can re-roll those for like a chance of less frustration, I guess, when you're doing them. So I'll probably just keep the Wings of Fate and just not direct your resources to the Tyrant, because I think it's a limited upgrade at this point, and it's better to focus instead on those weeklies and those dailies to look ahead and look at Abzo, because I don't think you're really in need of any immediate damage right now either, right?
I mean, it'd be nice to have some more damage for farming.
Okay.
But I think that'll come from the Abso stuff as well.
Well, definitely, but I'll see if there's anything we can do in the short term to help you there, rather than Abso, because Abso is still going to be like a midterm upgrade. Because if you haven't started doing those weeklies yet, you do need to do them for quite a while to get all of your pieces together. But every individual piece is going to be a huge upgrade. That is true, though.
I was thinking the cape is just like, if I get one with good flames, I can just chuck an e-pot on it, like roll it with the codes. It's pretty much free.
Yeah, that's true. And the base stats are the base stats will be worse than this, but once you get 2 or 3 pieces, the set bonus is immediately going to overtake anything that you're working on. Yeah, the main thing is going to be star forcing past 15 and how good the flames can be. Yeah, but also, of course, you're going to be dedicating way more resources in every single form of upgrading on Abso because you're going to keep it for way longer. So I like that approach that you're kind of like gimping your progress now and playing a little bit weaker than you could be, but that's because that money is going to be so much more efficient spent on something that you're going to keep longer, and it's also going to feel good to make a really good upgrade on that new weapon, and just you'll feel way stronger rather than if you spend everything with small incremental upgrades. You'll have an easier time getting to that point, but then once you get there, it doesn't really feel like you've accomplished much because your damage doesn't go up by much unless you go for like 20 or 21 stars immediately.
Yep.
Okay. What were we going off? Oh, yeah, we're going off of your questions, right? Is there anything? Do you have any other questions?
I'll just like ask them when they come up.
Yep.
Like,
sure.
Just when they're relevant to whatever we're talking about.
Okay. Good. So how many boost nodes do you go for? Do you go for 4?
Yeah, it's Bahamut, Big Bang, Angel Ray. And then something with Doran, then Genesis. But those are really low priority.
Injury, Benediction, Baha. Yeah, right, because Door pretty much always one-shots, right?
Yes, and also, like, Door is on a very long cooldown.
Yeah.
Like, I don't rely on it when mobbing.
No. I mean, if you see that it's up, you just brown, but most of the time you just...
Yeah.
Makes sense. Benediction... Have you checked how useful decent combat orders is for you?
I don't know how. I looked at it and it's like it doesn't seem too useful.
So if you look at your
4th job, right?
Yeah. 1 extra level on your 4th job. So the main reason that it could be beneficial is if you have any 4th job skills that give you something like critical damage, boss damage, IED, final damage. If any of those get augmented when you apply the skill. And the other thing would be is if you have any kind of skills in 4th job that give you like percentage point boost to existing skills that you use a lot. Or a combination of those two. If you don't really have those, then Combat Orders doesn't really do all that much for you. Like, it gives you 1% more stat in Maple Warrior, and that's about it, so.
Yeah, I mean, I can't check right now, but...
No, you can check. Well, yeah, so if you just open your boss, your 4th job tab, and then double-click it and see if there's any percentages that go up that are remotely useful, but... I'm expecting it to not be that useful, but some classes it's really good, right? Like for hero, because you have that you have a buff to your combo orbs that gives you extra final damage. So it gives you extra final damage on every single orb that works together multiplicatively. So for hero it's really good, but for other classes it might be a very small difference. So
I'll check that out.
Yep. Other than that, rope lift, teleport is a lot better now, right?
I mean, I play from EU in EU, so it doesn't make that much of a difference.
Okay. Do you notice a little bit, or is it pretty much the same for you?
Yeah, it's like when I just like hold down teleport, it's better.
Oh yeah, you actually do. The reactivation is faster, probably.
Yeah, but the telecasting is good anyway.
So. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Now we feel like how it would be if you played on EU on NA, which is a huge difference for us.
I mean, that was the reason I started on EU instead of NA.
Yeah. No, I could. If you don't really mind that you don't get to play with all the other people, and that's not really that important to you, then it would be kind of silly to play on NA over EU, honestly.
There's enough people on the server to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to CPQ, if you want to do anything. You can like there is enough people.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like there's no one. It's just
Yeah.
fewer people. But yeah, you could still play the game relatively. And there's some other stuff like, you know, if you're grinding and stuff, there's a huge and the lower ping. There's a huge amount of benefits there. So
Yeah, I go to like Fest 2, and there's 100% burning.
yeah, Fest 2 with burning. Man, when is that? I think that happens at GMS too. You know when?
Well, that's like right after maintenance.
Yes, right after maintenance. Yeah, exactly.
So when the Terra burning was there, I saw it at the lowest ever, and I saw 20% burning Fest 2, and it's like,
whoa, damn! If you see a 20% burning in GMS in NA, then yeah, that's really exceptional. Actually, it's probably when there's got to be. Maybe if there's like a Utah farm event, right, and everyone's working on their low-level Legion or something, and then maybe you get like level 2 or level 3 burn in FES, but other than that, you don't really get it. Okay, so we don't really talk about familiars. You want to talk about like Legion and Lynx a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have a general order and how and what you're working on next?
Yeah, I've kind of just like taken Lynx and Legion sheet. Just working from top to bottom. I first like picked things that would be useful for Bishop.
Yeah.
So like Marksman, I only just did that. Like that's the last one in this list because it's not very useful because I'm already in the 100%.
Exactly. Well, the only use there would be to be able to roll out of the Phantom Link and into something that maybe does a bit more damage.
Yeah, but I don't have anything to replace it with yet. So.
Maybe if Beast Tamer comes out, if you can switch it for Beast Tamer, initially you'll lose 10% crit but gain 10% boss damage.
Yes, that's the idea.
Yeah. And then
I was thinking of burning that one.
That would be super fast. Yeah, you can get level 3 Link very fast and get the extra nodes and everything.
Yep.
You know about the trick with the nodes?
Yeah, I did that with the Mihal.
Yeah, it's useful, right?
Because I'm not playing that class ever again.
210 and done forever.
Yes, I stripped it of its missiles.
Yeah. The downside is going to be that once those equips expire, your Legion raid power is going to go down a lot, though.
But I can just chuck a bit of Star Force in sometimes there.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. And
I think that it's not that much relative to the levels. Like the levels are the biggest thing.
Ooh, yeah, levels are way more important for sure. You can tell the difference by the Kana and the Lumi, where it's like the one is more than double the other for quote unquote just those 40 levels. Yeah, definitely. That is definitely the biggest bunch. Okay, yeah, as long as you're following that and you're just regularly doing a little bit of progress. I don't know, what I always do is just run Sakum and then log off. Tends to be a lot of experience in a short amount of time, and there's a little bit of chance of getting Iron Phase coupons, or accessories, I mean. There's a little bit of chance of flames and cubes. And yeah, and it's super fast.
I tend to just level something to like 100 in it, like in one session, and then just do the 100 to 140 in the other.
Oh yeah, whatever works for you. Yeah, as long as you keep like slowly doing this, you'll notice that every single new character gets a bit stronger, and then eventually every single one of those sessions you have will be shorter as well, and then that'll lower the the threshold to be like, oh, I don't feel like doing a character, but then since it's so much faster every time.
Yeah, so now I'm focusing on the characters that make leveling faster. Like so I did Marksman and I did Pathfinder. Because Pathfinder was really painless.
Yeah.
And it's more crit in the link, because that link is actually pretty good when you're leveling.
Yep. The crit rate is very, very important. Because you might shy away from crit because you already have enough on your main, but getting crit for new characters for Legion and Lynx is super important.
Yeah, exactly.
It increases your damage by so much. Yeah.
Maybe Night Lord next.
Yeah. No, that is a very good foundation to have. And when you get to 3k Legion, you also get your bigger grid, and you can get 5 extra characters in. So that's also a big bump for you.
Yep. I was thinking of going for like 6k for now.
Yep.
Because that's basically everything at 140 and a couple of 200s.
Yeah. 6k is definitely achievable for most people. Yeah, 140. The bridge from getting everything 140 and like a few higher to getting everything 200 and a few higher is definitely that's definitely a huge jump.
Yeah, but by that point I should have a little bit more income.
Yeah.
Be able to like smack a bunch of cubes and whatnot on them, like codes and.
Yeah, and you'll start making a lot more cubes and stuff on your main that you can't use there anymore. You just have so many occults and so many Master Craftsmen, but everything already be epic or above that you can start throwing Master Craftsmen on other characters, get everything to epic, maybe even emblem and secondary to unique, and then it'll be way faster. Yeah, and then a combination with access to more coupons, more Legion coins, etc., etc. All of that combining together, maybe putting some points into bonus experience, etc., etc.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I went hard on the main for a couple weeks just to get CRA down. But now it's just more Legion.
Yep. Yeah, it's just as long as you keep that balance going. Links, bossing. Yeah, I guess you're strong enough, but in general, like stacking the Spirit of Freedom is very useful.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't leveled more of them yet.
It's mostly also an NA issue, but like if you have just the level 2 Spirit of Freedom, most of the time, by the time you've respawned, it's already gone. At least in NA. Like, because we have 8 seconds, and the first thing I see when it pops up is like 6-5. That's like the first thing I see. So it immediately goes down to like under 6 seconds, and the first 2 seconds are just kind of... So having it at level 8, so you actually get at least 6 full seconds, 6.5, is very useful for bosses like Hard Magnus, right? When you get spawned on the side and you have to walk all the way back. You don't want to get caught in like the tail end of a poison mist, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And Noble Fire is mostly useful in full parties, but in solo parties doesn't do all that much because of the stacking.
Yeah, so it was just there because that is the only thing that gives damage in that slot for now.
Yeah, you're just filling it up.
And Adele was easy to level.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. But you do have
such a different, like starting a hero or a marksman, and just doing Adele, Pathfinder, Kana.
Yeah, if you're moving around, bossing a lot, the ones that I would say is Kadena and Ilium. Those are good. Those are good links.
I don't think I move a lot while bossing.
You don't teleport around with
I mean, not during bossing. Mostly.
Okay.
Try to stand still as much as I can. Only move when I have to.
Okay. And then when mobbing, you do telecast around a lot, right?
Yeah. So I was thinking of getting Ilium for leveling.
And they definitely have room because something like Close Call or Spirit of Freedom or Bravado. I guess Bravado, if you one-shot, Bravado works, and as soon as you don't one-shot, Bravado gets like overpowered by a lot of other links immediately. But only if you have access to the other ones, of course.
Yeah, I mean, this obviously gives it gets the Aaron, Evan, and Mercedes links for leveling.
Yeah, exactly. So those already move in instead of like Invincible Belief, Close Call, Lightwatch probably. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of room. Yeah. Those can all move over. Okay. But your access to these will increase. The Night's Watch level 3 is probably a huge relief, right?
It's so nice. I had it at level 2 and it was 100% uptime with the buff duration on Bishop. And I was like, there is less motivation to level this to 210.
I see. Yeah.
But then I used it on Marksman while leveling that, and I was like, okay, I need level 3.
Yeah, the downtime. Yeah, you see the extra value for your account rather than for your main. Yeah.
Yeah, and the nodes.
The nodes?
Oh, from the 210, because the Michal was Terra burned.
Of course, yeah. You get like around 40 nodes, right?
I got 43 from the last set, like from the experience nodes plus the last 50. And then I got like a couple before that, like 8 or so.
Okay, so total over 50. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's way higher efficiency than I thought initially. I thought maybe you get like 20 or something, but it's actually pretty good.
When you said it in this stream, I was like, oh, okay, I'll get like maybe 15, 20 nodes.
Yeah.
But then I got over 50. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's actually really good. Yeah, very worth. Not worth enough for me to go level the Ice Lightning to 210, but for people who are like more early in the game and nodes are very valuable, I would advise doing that. So for the people
you don't have 5,000 nodes, right? Like you have 5,000 in your storage, so over 5,000. For people in chat who don't know, so if you get all the nodes on your Terra Burn, but you're not planning on playing the character anymore, you want to open the nodes but not actually use them. What you want to do is extract them all for node shards, and then with the special nodes that you get, you want to level up nodes that you get with. Commit the experience of the special node to the nodes to level them up and then extract them. And then with all of these shards, you can make tradable node stones. And then those node stones you can put into storage and trade with other characters. And then
basically you can salvage with the 90 free node stones and experience nodes from Terra Burn, and you can get a little bit like around or a little bit over 50 nodes that are tradable to another character. But of course, there's a little bit of RNG involved, like how many special nodes do you get when you open it, etc. But yeah, around there from other people I've heard like high 40s, low 50s of how many nodes you can salvage from that. So if you do that for both of the Terra Burns, that's over 100 nodes that you could get on a main character to boost it. Okay. Oh yeah, the last thing I wanted to look at was like your stat window. So, because how's stuff with IED and everything? Are you having that under control?
I think so. It's not bad. Like the visual is not high, but there is 20% extra on Angel Ray.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
built in, yeah.
Yeah, because I got the 40, and I also get another couple. Like I go up to 84 visual if I just turn on bossing mode.
Mm-hmm. And you have one familiar.
Yes.
One familiar and
so another like percent or so, maybe
mm-hmm.
2.
And you still have 2 levels in your hyperstat that you can get.
Yep. The Big Bang debuff. It now applies on Angel Ray.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if that is IED or not.
Angel Ray builds the stacks?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that should count as IED, yeah.
Because that's 4 stacks of 10 each. So that would be 40%, which is huge.
Yeah, that would be pretty huge, yeah. So if you have 90, that would take you from 90 to 94. So you have a visual. So you would have 40 as a debuff. You'd have an extra 9 as a debuff from if you stack the 3 mages together.
Yep.
And then 20 for Angel Ray itself, and then 20 from the boost node. So
that's 20 from the boost node. Angel Ray itself doesn't have ID.
Oh, that is from the boost node. Okay. So 40, 20, and 9. No other debuffs, I don't think. Well, we do have the 0 link coming, which is also IED, right? Isn't it?
I don't know. Could be. I think it's like percentage damage, incoming damage reduction, and IED. I think, yeah, 15% incoming damage reduction, but that's only for for flat for physical amounts, not for percentages, and 10% defense ignore. So it's kind of similar to like the Ho Young, but does something else. And then the Legion thing gives extra EXP, so that's gonna be nice for that as well. Yep, and when I get the Legion bigger, I can chuck some in IED as well.
Yeah.
Because right now it's not worth it because it's like 6% or something.
Yeah, so eventually you'll have... wait, what is your emblem right now? Are you getting any IED from your WSE? Nope. None from your secondary, none from your emblem. Okay. So eventually you'll get an extra 40, 40, 20, and 9. So if you go to 84 visual and then 2 15s for... let's do some quick maths. 2 15s for familiars. This one's gone. You won't have that one. Ambition. You don't have a beast hammer yet. That's also still gonna add though. Blaster gives a little bit. You don't have. Do you have 4-set superior?
No.
You don't have that yet either. And do you have the Monster Parker medal?
Nope.
Damn, that's so much more to do, huh?
Yeah, I don't have to worry about rolling IED ever, I think.
I don't think I can do this on stream because it like adds weird stuff. It like auto-completes things I've added in other websites already. For some reason in this thing.
That calculator fills it out with a bunch of presumptions.
Yeah.
Every time you open it up, it's a bit weird.
There you go. And then another 40, and then a 20, and then a 9. It's a rough estimate. You would end up at like a functional 95, and then if you add The Monster Parker medal, maxing ambition. And then the 30 from superior. Yeah, you're like functional, close to 97. So I don't think... Wow, and that's without a line? So I don't think you even need a line of IED on your WSE then. 10 from weapon will stay. There's nothing that's giving you like temporary IED?
Oh, there is the title, the haste title.
Is that a stack of 30?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Because I'm in the game now. Yeah, that's a line of 30.
That's a line of 30. Okay, so without that one, then you'll be at 95. But that's counting filling out your entire legion. So until you fill out your legion, it'll probably still be beneficial to have one line of IED somewhere as you're working on all of that. And then once you have the entire legion filled out with IED, probably at that point your Lumi is going to go up to like, up to 20%. Probably the Hoyong is going to get swapped out then, and then it's kind of like going to even out. So I guess eventually you want one line of IED probably on your emblem, right? That's the prime candidate, but for now that's not necessary yet because of the debuff from Angel Way. That's actually huge for you.
Yep, like them making that apply an Angel Ray is actually a huge buff.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And you can use, what was it? You can use Urda Nova now during the Righteously Indignant?
Yes, well that's once every 5 minutes I don't have to swap out.
So huge, dude.
Big buff.
What was the buff before that you could use Urda's Will during Righteously Indignant, right? I think that was a specific mention buff, and I was like, really? This is like their flagship buff that they're hoisting up for. Look at what we're doing for bishops. Yeah.
Just let me use unreliable memory during Indignant.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's all I want.
Well, it is. I mean, it wouldn't be named unreliable memory if it wasn't an unreliable skill, huh? Yeah. Is there anything like with the matrix that you have any concerns about or any questions?
I just craft specific nodes. I think that's good, right?
Yeah.
Because I only need like those specific ones, like the Bahamut ones and the Angel Ray ones now.
Yeah, and you're limited to how many. Most of the nodes are going to be boost nodes, and then most of them you don't need. So that's going to reduce the overall efficiency versus crafting nodes. If you were like a Pathfinder in this situation, it would probably be better to just craft nodes because almost every single node you get will be a useful one. So the overall value, it'll decrease your overall progression speed because you can't direct them all to the 2 skills that you want, but it'll get you to the finish line faster because the overall efficiency per node will be way higher, or per shard that you transfer into a node will be way higher. But for you, not too many boost nodes that you need, so disproportionately you'll have to re-disassemble them, so that's, doesn't really move you forward. Yeah, so I would just craft the specific ones, and then after that I think Benediction is probably the main one that you will work on, so that, you'll have a stronger footing for parties. And then, is it the Peacemaker? Peacemaker is pretty good for party buff as well, right? Gives a lot of damage.
Yeah, the party damage on it is pretty good. It's like just a percentage damage buff.
Yeah, you like shoot it out and then activate it again, and then it explodes on people, and then they get damage buff, right?
Yes. Let me check how much it is.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was like 50% or something.
5% plus 1 for every remaining contact, so that's 12 if you don't hit anything.
12?
So 17% damage.
At
level 3.
At level 3, and it goes up to... Buff by 11% for 8 seconds, plus 1% for remaining contact.
So if you don't hit anything with it, that's 12. So it's like 23% damage.
Okay, so it's not that huge. And also heals? Max contact count 12 consumes the contact count for both attacks and recovery. Oh. I see. Okay, so it's not huge. It's a little bit min-maxy to do a little bit more damage. It's kind of like a barrier for Kana, I guess.
But it's a good party buff.
Yep, for sure.
Because it's at the end it's 23% damage buff with like 80% uptime.
Yeah, it's only 10% cooldown. Yeah, that's actually really nice. For 8 seconds. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's actually really good uptime. Yeah, really nice. I should I should look at bishops when I'm doing boss fights, make sure that they keep spamming that.
I'm not sure if you can use it in bossing mode though.
Oh right, of course. Yeah, dealing with that again. Yeah. What a dream to play bishop. A lot of obstacles to overcome. What's your plan with your inner ability right now?
I don't know. I rolled 20% boss, so I kept it.
So you kept it, yeah.
For now, I might roll something on the event.
Because I was wondering if you need attack speed +1.
I think I do.
You want, yeah. Oh yeah. So the dream, the dream for bishop is to just roll 38% buff duration forehead.
Yes.
Which is a nightmare. So the nightmare story is my mom, who spent 18 bill on circulators during sale and has never seen 38% buff duration on her bishop.
Is there another like?
The success story is our old boy Shrimp, who is now excommunicated, who actually got 38% buff duration on his second line on reveal on legendary. So it's it's somewhere in between. Somewhere in between there.
Somewhere in between nothing and 18 bill. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the highest unique line when it comes to, let's see, stats. So you can use the second one, buff duration. So you can see the highest unique is 38, and then if you hit the highest epic line, it would be 25%. That's, I mean, it's not as good obviously, but it's not like so much worse. But that's mainly for Infinity, right? Longer
the Infinity gets stronger as you get more buff duration. The actual,
exactly.
like,
yeah, more final damage. Yeah. So that's why in Legion, if you're going to be maining Bishop, it would also be pretty useful to maybe not have to rely on the full IED in Legion, so that you can actually fill out the buff duration instead. To be more reliable for damage there. But you can do that because you don't have to put anything in critical rate, of course. So that gives you more benefits to move more points around. But yeah, so more reasonable goal would be to roll 25% on the second or third line with circulators, and then once you hit that, lock it, and then during an inner ability 50% off, try to roll for attack speed +1 on the top one.
Right, so on the next Sunny Sunday, I just don't roll for now then.
No, I don't think you have enough. You have to save up for circulators first. I would say wait for a circulator sale, but I don't think we've seen one of those in 8 or 9 months now, maybe even almost a year. So
there's one coming soon then.
Wait, circulator sale? Yeah. That careful applying logic to MapleStory events, because you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get hurt deep.
I'm not sure if they're worth just buying without sale though. If I'm rolling for that.
I think usually the sales are like 25% off, which
That's not even that much. Okay.
Or maybe 30%, or 25. I think 25 usually. Yeah, they're kind of expensive. I mean, it's almost like a black cube every time you buy one, but I think you will notice though with the attack speed +1, especially in the bossing stance, that you will be able to like hop around a little bit more, and it should make the mobbing maybe also a little bit faster, a little bit more fluid. Maybe to the point where you can like teleport, attack, and then teleport again before the attack can go off again, so you can actually traverse more distance in between. I don't know if it's enough extra speed though. I
think that is only useful if you're actually one-shotting.
Yes. Yeah, so let's delve into the actual equips a little bit more. Now that we have all the stuff around it done, which is of course more important, but then the equips are kind of like the icing on the cake, right? Everything else is the cake, all of the ingredients. So arcane symbols, dailies there, very important, but I assume you're doing those as much as you can.
Yes, except for Spirit Savior. Fuck that.
So what about Spirit Savior is stopping you? Is it not being able to kill the spirits fast enough?
I two-shot those. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then just the whole like mobility. It's only teleport. The map is very like organically shaped.
Okay, so when you go in, do you maximize your map when you go in?
Yes.
Okay, and then how do you typically rotate the map?
I've just tried going like clockwise, counterclockwise, based on where the more of the mobs are.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it like 4 times.
Okay.
So I only hit Arcana like last week.
Okay.
Somewhere.
And where do you typically get caught? Just when you have a lot of them, or is it when you're trying to hand them in, or?
Yeah, like usually when I have like 4.
Mm-hmm.
And either if I'm going back to the start to hand them in, or somewhere in between.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to visualize. Does he like catch you right before you get to hand them in? Like he catches up to you, something like that?
Yeah, usually like on the way there.
So one of the safer ways of handing in is trying to make your 4th or your 5th one to be a rock spirit that's completely on the sides of the map, way on the extreme left or extreme right, and then kind of wait until he almost gets you. You can see him on a minimap coming, right? You can see him like rushing towards you. And then when he almost gets to you, then use the jumper and use the arrow key to point in the direction of the jump so you get a little bit forward. And then walk through the middle and then down jump through the middle to hand them in.
Oh, okay, I see.
That's typically kind of a safer way because there's no way he should be able to catch you then, unless your down jump like malfunctions 3 times in a row or something. The other thing, since your teleport is faster, what could also work is going down and then just teleporting over the bottom. With the current teleport, you should be faster than he is when he's in 4 or 5. What will catch you is when you do long distance and he can like take the diagonal and like cut you off. That's where he will get you.
Yep. Yeah, no, I've only done it a couple times and it's I haven't like learned where the jumpers go.
Yeah. Where the jumpers go is going to be very, very important because depending on where he is in the map, he will always take the path, towards you that's the shortest distance, right? So he'll always take like diagonal routes, and sometimes because of how you approach a spirit from the last one you came from, you might actually give him a better path to cut you off. So what you'll learn is try to go through it in like a straight line, so that he has to follow that same line so that you know where he's coming from, so he's more predictable. Once you start going all over the place, he might come from a direction that you're not aware of because he was going somewhere and then he changes trajectory like midway and then he ends up coming from a weird angle and he actually cuts you off and you kind of end up working against yourself.
Yep. How many like points should I be aiming for per run?
So the ideal is that you hit 10,000 in a run, and that you do that 3 times, and then you hit the total of 30,000, which gives you the maximum amount of coins per day.
Right. I think the most I've ever hit is like 3,000.
Yeah, when you start the very first time, it's typically tricky. Old teleport was hard. Your teleport is already a lot better, so that's good. The main problem for most people in the beginning is that they don't kill the rock spirits fast enough, and then he inevitably just catches up to you because you're doing like 3, 4, 5 shotting these things, and then he just, once you had 3 or 4, he's just so fast that, yeah. Basically what people will do is they'll hit the jumper on one side, go all the way to the other side, hit one there, go all the way back, really slow. But it is important because once you have, oh god, what are the numbers? I think if you have 1 rock spirit, it's 200 points, right? 2 is 500, 3 is 1,000, 4 is I think 1,500, and then 5 is 2,500. So that last one gives you an extra 1,000 points. So that one extra one from 4 to 5 gives you the same as going from 0 to 3. So if you can hand in 4 batches of 5, then you're done. That's the goal. I do have Spirit Savior videos on my YouTube channel, although I think it's one with my Arc and one with my, I think with my Kana. I don't have a regular teleport mage in there. But there's actually a video of someone hitting, I think someone doing 15k on a Kana without using any mobility skills, just walking. Like no up jump, no teleport, no nothing. And dude, it gets so close so many times that whenever you watch it, you're like you're like kind of scared that they're gonna get caught. But yeah, it's really risky, so I wouldn't do it like that. But that goes to show though that it is possible. But it's definitely just a matter of practice and practice. Yeah.
Yeah, I should start doing it again. But usually I just kind of like rush my dailies out and maybe like a lunch break or something.
And
I'm like, no, not now.
The kill quests are nice though. They give you an extra 8. But before, when we didn't have those, the only thing we had was this to get symbols. So you were kind of forced to. Now some people who don't like it, they get like 1 or 2 symbols from that, and then just get the 8 from the kill quest to speed it up.
Yep. Yeah, and I've been buying out I've bought out all the node stones in the shop so far.
Okay, yeah.
The wig shop. And then I'm buying the symbols now.
Yes. Good.
The Arcana symbols.
All right. And you're working on the Monster Parker medal, right?
Yep. I do 2 runs every day.
Cool.
Should I be doing 7?
If you have the time. I wouldn't force you to do it, but like if you do the 7, it's 11 weeks. If you don't do it, it's like...
It's almost
like 7.
Like 3/4 of a year or something.
It's, yeah. 22 is like a little less than... Yeah. Yep. It's almost a year, yeah. So it does speed it up, and you get extra boxes, which gives you extra coins, which gives you extra access to gold potions, blue potions, green potions, that kind of stuff. I think that's always worth it if you have the money, but time might be a different issue. So what I usually do, I don't know if you do the choo-choo runs.
Yes.
What I usually do is, instead of those, I do the Night Stronghold. That one has the fewest amount of maps and has lower level maps, so you can just blow through it way faster, and then I just blow through 7 of those maps instead, just for the clears and for the rewards.
Alright, yeah. No, the choo-choo one takes like 2 minutes, 15 seconds, 2.5 minutes.
Yeah. So the Stronghold is typically like around 1 minute, depending on your map clear and stuff. So the reason I do that is because choo-choo gives a lot more experience, that's true, but you can get even more extra experience if you train instead. So I see Monster Park past a certain level just as something I get for clears, and that's it, and for for progress towards the medal, towards the coins, and then training is for the experience instead.
Fair enough. I should do that.
Yep.
Just make it shorter and do more runs.
Yeah, so you'll end up doing like 3 minutes extra, but you'll get 7 clears instead of 2. Yeah, so
that's good. I'll do that.
Badge, we talked about the cape. Yeah, glove and shoe and shoulder are kind of like awkward, right? Until you get to Absolab, so you kind of just take what you get until then.
Yes, no, I had a full Von Leon set, or at least a couple of the things. Like the 4 set, I think. It gives it a little bit of boss damage, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
And obviously the CRA gear broke it.
Yeah, yeah, it tends to do that, yeah. Tends to be good enough for that.
And then I got that Empress shoe, and I was like, oh, it's better. So like, just by itself, it was better. So.
Yeah, an okay flame on it. Yeah, exactly, because there's no set bonus for it to break up.
Oh, speaking of flames, do I ever buy flames, or I only use the ones that are dropped?
I do bossing on more characters, so I have a little better income on flames typically, but if you're wildly below the flame score that I advise to be on in different stages, you could buy some. Typically, I just do it a little bit on the side as like a little bit extra thing. Whenever the flames are like blinking that they're going to expire, then I just look whatever item has the best potential gain, and then I just throw flames on that until either I get something that's not too much worse than what I started with. Of course, like the higher you are, the lower the chance of improving, so the higher the chance that you actually end up having to settle for something a little bit worse. I typically only buy if I'm trying to min-max on a weapon or an item that I'm going to transpose. That's the only time when I buy. Other than that, just from boss drops or maybe from event stores or something. If there's those karma boxes that end up giving like a total of like 50 Eternals or something, I definitely get those. But I think right now there's just like Eternals for 250 mil or something. Which is yeah, no is the correct answer there. No. Not doing that. No, exactly. I wouldn't do that, no. Yeah, so until then, I think you have some decent stuff already. Like the belt is really nice, the shoes are definitely good enough, the glove is all okay.
I rolled the Ayame's treasure belt to 9% int on Epic.
Okay. Oh, okay, that's nice. That's nice. Yep.
It just made it better than the pink bean belt, even though the pink bean belt has a good flame and the Ayame belt has nothing for me.
Did that lose you any set bonus?
No, because I had 10 boss equips.
Oh, you had 10. Okay, cool. And
if
then
I'm running in, if I have my horntail necklace on, if I put the Greek pendant on, then I swap back in the pink bean belt.
makes sense. Okay, yeah. The Yami belt is better because of the set bonus with the Kana ring.
And the shoulders, yeah.
And shoulders. Oh yeah, you're using both of those.
12%, 12 attack and 6%
right.
damage.
Because you have the badge, of course. The
ring and the shoulders, yeah.
Yeah, and the badge, yeah. Yeah, okay. So you have the condensed power crystal. You have this one. So you were trying to go for full meso obtain and some drop, and then you ended up just getting a whole lot of intellect.
Yes, I rolled 21 int on the ring. I rolled 21 int on the power crystal.
Face, yeah. 21 on the eye.
Yes, I rolled that after, because I rolled 21 on the eye, and
And
then
on
I
the-
rolled the
And on
black
the
bean
earring.
mark up because I wanted to do that one for drop.
Oh yeah.
But then the black bean mark rolled into 21% int.
Yeah.
So I rolled out of the 21 on the Zarkon one.
Ah, I see. Okay, and that one. Wait, actually, I just scrolled past
That's
it.
now meso.
That one's now meso. Oh yeah, with defense lucky. Okay. And now, do you have an earring now that has drop or meso?
Nope. I got a second horntail earring ready. I just need to cube it up to meso now.
Is it legendary already as well?
No, it doesn't even have potential yet.
Okay. Because how far are you with Gollux?
I think I can do hard lux if I wanted to, but I find the pink breath attack to be hard.
Yeah, it's not particularly cool. You have to really just dance around the middle until you're done with that stage, and the hitbox goes slightly behind the mouth as well, so you have to make sure you teleport far enough. Yeah.
I keep getting caught by it, and I don't really want to do it.
Yeah, no, it can be very, very demoralizing. I guess even with Door and with Shell, it's still.
I think it kills me through Shell.
It might kill you through Door as well, right? Because it kills Demon Avengers even through Revenant.
I think Door is fine because Door it actually like kills you and then puts you back at full health.
Yeah, exactly.
You, so.
Yeah, it doesn't prevent the death. It just lets it go through without going through.
Yeah.
Because one thing would be if you can get to reinforced earrings, for example, then some of the money you invest in there can be salvaged by transfer hammering that into superior later. So that's something I'm looking for. That's a
so those are 140.
Yep.
So I could, in theory, also transfer hammer from the earrings these through the reinforced into the superior.
Yeah, except the main value of these is their potential, and transfer hammering only goes up to epic. The main thing I'm thinking about is that you would transfer some of the Star Force power if you would go for the reinforced with damage, for example, and Diacitus for drop or.
Yeah. No, these also are just accidentally rolled into this.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah, ideally you just want like five meso and then 4 drop, and then all of them to have at least 1 line of intellect on top of them, so you kind of compensate for the loss of intellect because of the shifting of priorities. I guess, yeah, something like your Mechanator Pendant or something would be ideal, right? That's a really good flame, and you have drop, and you have some all-stat. Like, that's... If you have all of them looking like that, that would be the dream.
Yes.
Ring looking pretty good. Slog option. Because right now you have 3 meso?
I think so, yeah. 3 meso and 4 drop.
And 4 drop? Yeah, so you're just basically just lacking 2 meso. Yeah. That'd be the next thing. You can throw... Yeah. You could throw some flames on the aquatic ladder eye accessory, I guess, to get a little bit more damage. But you have to get lucky there. There's probably some other stuff that can get better increase right now. The earrings have some room for improvement. Because it's going to be like... Flaming is going to be a matter of just getting everything that's not quite there up little by little. And just always flaming whatever has the lowest flame score and has the highest potential for growth.
Yep. I've been throwing flames on the CRA gear for now.
Yeah,
like I have backups that I can throw them on.
Is it the top next? No, the pants next? No. What? The hat, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a separate hat. And I still have an epic Von Leon helm that I can transfer the potential into, so I don't lose that.
I see, okay. Yeah, that's a good idea to keep that as backup.
I'm just waiting for a decent flame before I actually commit to a hat.
Okay. Yeah, and then and by committing, you typically mean going to 15 stars and 30% off, I assume.
Or just going to 10 stars in general for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think on the next 30% off, I'm just actually going to Star Force things to 15.
Yeah, that would be my advice as well. General rule of getting to 15 is that you only want to go to 15 on things that can go past 15.
Yes.
Because that's that's where the value is.
On actual things that I will keep.
Yeah, or things you will definitely keep and that stay like late game, end game. Yeah, because the money invested is not worth it just to get to 15 if you're not going past, because it doesn't really give you that much stat. The only reason it's good is because past 15 you start getting a lot of stat.
Yes, I was thinking Kindness Treasure, the CRA gear, and the shield.
Yeah, those would be the priorities. And then typically, if you have level 160 stuff, that would come into play as well. If you already had the Eye in the Face and maybe some Abzo, that would be like the next thing that would be on the list.
Yep. I was wondering what I should throw the 17-star scroll on. I was thinking maybe the secondary.
Yeah, I think among everything you have, that's probably the best idea.
But that's also, what, like 7 weeks from now?
Although
you can train the scroll that far.
It's a level 130. It works on level 160 and lower, right?
Check.
So the best value would be to use it... If you can get an Abzo item before then, the best would be to use it on an Abzo.
Yeah, 160 or lower. Okay.
Yeah,
because they're cheaper to Star Force.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This one's cheaper,
Yeah. And keep getting backups for shields in case you blow this one up. I don't know if you have extra recipes.
I found the one recipe because I only killed normal sickness twice.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so definitely keep doing that. Yeah, after that, with all of that in mind, after that it would definitely be a matter of getting at least 2 lines of magic attack on both on your WSE in general, I guess. That would be the next big upgrade after that.
Just a secondary and emblem for now, because I don't want to commit too hard to this weapon.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about like after the 15, after you get into Abzo Web, basically, right?
Yep.
And then it'll be a combination of slowly getting everything you have up to unique, but saving enough money in case there's a 5, 10, 15, and then pushing 17 on the items that you have that will stay with you for a reasonable amount of time.
I'm running all the daily bosses every day. I just hope I get a dump pendant at some point.
Yes, yeah, dump pendant is one of those things that... so dump pendant I would keep at 16 because of transposing.
Yep. Is that drop instance?
That's a good question. Is it Dom instance? I think I saw someone in the chat say that they... that they had someone in their run loot it and they couldn't see it. Has anyone done Arc with multiple people and have any confirmation that the Dominator pendant is instance or not? It is a shared drop that everyone can loot, so or like shared between classes. So I would assume if the drop logic in MapleStory is consistent, that it would be a shared drop, but it might be one of those things that's just for some reason an exception. I don't know if anyone in chat has done that. I think most people solo that boss.
Yeah, I was just thinking if I can just bring someone along who wants one. If it's instance, then they can just tag along.
Mm-hmm. It's instance and dropped for me, but my girlfriend didn't see it. Okay.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, that's good to know. Thanks, Glacier. Glacier from Antarctica. Wow, floating all the way into my stream. Thank you, dude. Please go back, though. Global warming and all that. We need you over there. Hang on. Is it recommended for endgame to do weekly PAP mark? Always. Late game as well. You want to start doing CPAP as early as possible.
Do you reckon I can do it?
When did I think I did it at level 210 on my Cannoneer and on my Adele, but those are like huge exceptions, right? The main thing is getting the guild skills, getting that 30% boss or 30% damage and 30% critical damage. Those are huge carriers.
No, I've got those.
I think you will, well, maybe after the 30% off, right, where you get your Star Force up.
Yep. Like, is it roughly the same as Siva, or?
It's harder than C-Val, harder than hard. So typically I have like C-Val, then hard Magnus, and then CPAP is probably after that. It's like on, yeah.
Okay, because Magnus I did that solo on Tuesday.
The main thing is like I have a specific video guide also for CPAP on like where to stand, what to do, and everything. There's just a bunch of stuff going on at once, and if you're going in blind, you're going to end up dying a bunch of times without really knowing what actually is killing you. And I have gotten a lot of good feedback from the CPAP video. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I haven't, not yet. No.
Where basically I look through the run with my Adele. So it's a pretty long run, and I go through everything, like where do I stand, why do I stand there, when do I move over to another place, what are all of the parts of the mechanics. Also talk about like your damage skin. You want to make sure that you use the blade damage skin because you need to see the indicator over his head, and if you have normal damage skin, it just covers with damage, and then you need to lower your DPS so you can see the boss mechanic and everything, which is a bad thing. So yeah, try to go through the whole boss fight, and that has helped a lot of people. So that one and the Spirit Savior one maybe will help you a little bit.
Yeah. I'll watch those and then try them this weekend, I think.
CPAP is half the HP of normal Lotus, but the mechanics are the mechanics are something to get used to for sure. But it is, once you like just, you know, eat shit a bunch of times on CPAP, once you actually do kill it, it feels very rewarding because you can get better at it. There's still some things where it's like, you know, but you won't have like the delay issues are like the most frustrating ones, but you probably won't have those as much because of playing in EU from EU. So hopefully that's a little bit better. Regular time, Brendan.
Not like HMAC where you just kill him and you're like, well, I guess I was just dead for half.
Yeah, I guess I just waited long enough while dead to get my cooldowns back. Yeah.
Took 11 buff freezes, but I did it.
Yeah, it's so worth. Yeah, and then hopefully get a cape and some shards.
At least you make the money back.
Yeah, true. Okay, that sets the path, so it's like Abzo most of the time. Yeah, any rings that you have that would be your late endgame rings will just get replaced once we get event rings, right? Those will take the place as drop and meso rings, and then you can redo the ones that you have that you will keep longer, and those will become damage rings, and then Gollux is going to be a huge thing, right? That's a huge time gate as well. You have to be clearing a lot and very often and reliably and etc, etc. And then you'll probably get the ring first, superior, and then hopefully get one or two of the drops, and then buy the pendant and to get your full set. And that's when everything will be coming around to 17. Everything will probably be legendary at that point. And that's when you start looking at transposing, you start looking at prepping to go past 17 stars, and that's probably around the point as well where you're like around 250, and when you're around the point where you are 6k Legion, and when around where you're looking at like Hard Lotus and Hard Lucid and Hard Will runs. You can do you could technically do Hard Lucid a bit earlier as long as you have the requirements for the party. Because, you know, the level is lower and the arcane power requirement is lower, but for Will it's really advised to be at least 245 before you really start running, because Will himself is level 250, so there's a lot of damage reduction going in.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah.
So is there anything short term I could work on the gear to like get me to like start like doing decent damage in Arcana and stuff?
All of the star forcing on the CRA stuff and everything is going to add up. If you don't want to commit to specific CRA pieces yet,
like I don't mind committing to them. I've got 2 weeks and I've got some extra pieces. I can like just open them up and see what flames I get.
Typically for CRA, I would only go up to unique and then just roll in unique and roll for 2 lines there, because the amount of junk lines on legendary is just horrible. If there's money, making sure that all of your accessories that have, I don't know, the ones that have meso and dropped, so make sure they at least have 1 line of intellect as well is like optimal, but in your current situation might be a little bit too expensive to do for how much it gives you. Because, you know, sometimes you get lucky and you just get it in 5 cubes and it's like whatever. And then sometimes you have to use 50 cubes and you don't even see 1 line of meso obtained. You're like, what am I doing? And then it's so much lost. So that will really depend on your income But since we just had a Starforce event and you disproportionately spend on it's just at a cubing event and you disproportionately spend on cubing, it's probably better to now save for Starforce event and then kind of quote unquote disproportionately, but just to reset the balance, invest into Starforcing next. It's probably the best way to go.
Right.
Yeah, the bigger rings and everything. There's nothing huge. I mean, there's the event ring coming out, right? You'll probably get that one.
Yeah. Just see if I can get that one to legendary as well.
Yeah, it'll just be getting 2 lines of magic attack on your secondary and emblem. That'll be a decent increase.
Yep. I'm wondering how much I should like, because I'm not sure if I can like stand losing the current lines on them.
No.
Well, I have a backup secondary, I guess, which also has a 9% magic attack on it.
There was like, I think it was like 2 bill on emblem, I think. Red cubes, legendary.
So is emblem the easiest one to get it on?
I think so. Wait, what? Wait, what? There's no way. Wait, is this right? Emblem is already, you want to use red cubes, it's already legendary. What? And you want to get 2 lines of
That's cheap.
Of attack? Really? 500 mil? I don't remember this being this fast. Wait. Okay, now it's 600.
750.
So 1,000 trials. Take some time, computer. Oh. Some person getting 1 cube. The unluckiest person spent 10 bill. Poor guy. Median cubes. So anywhere from like 40 to 60 cubes. Like around a bill. That doesn't seem too bad.
Should I do that before Starforce, or should I just keep the money now for the Starforce event and then do this?
The Starforcing is something you can underestimate because it depends on if you're safeguarding or not on some items. It can still get pretty expensive if you do it on a lot of items. So I would probably hold off until after the Starforce, unless you, literally have so much money that you know that you're for sure gonna have enough. But
no, I mean I've got like a bill.
Right? Yeah, no. Then I would save up for the Starforce first because that's gonna disproportionately be a bigger saving for you.
Right. Yeah, because I don't have to safeguard the CRA stuff.
Yeah, that's a benefit, but you will safeguard things like the ring.
Yeah, Ghana ring will safeguard.
Probably the shield if you don't have too many backups. And then save the scroll for Abzo. You can get some other stuff to like 12 stars or so, or like at least to 11 for free. The earring is like kind of a questionable if you want to get the earring to 15 and then past 15 on a 5, 10, 15, because earrings, they seem so shitty and low level, but they do stay with you for a long ass time because the next one is Superior Golic, so.
Yeah, I might actually put this one up to 17, but
same thing with belt.
There's also like backups galore for that, right? So.
Yeah. For belt you could go as well because you can transfer hammer still into the Superior. So that way you can salvage some of the value.
On the pink bean belt.
Yep. And then shoe and glove. And possibly shoulder, but like shoe and glove also can be salvaged by transfer hammering it along. If you get higher star force, so there's no real loss there either.
Okay.
You can go into, like the glove can go into Pencilier and then into the Ancient Root gloves, and then the shoes can go directly into the Ancient Root shoes, and then you can go from those to Abzo.
Yep, and on a 5, 10, 15, that's...
Yeah, if you have these at 15, you're like 16, back to 15, 16, back to 15, and then into Abzo. Then you're just doing like a huge switcheroo, but you basically save a whole lot of time of ping-ponging between 10 and 15 on the Abzo and having to maybe safeguard, and it's a whole bunch of money saved there.
Start running some Von Leon again.
For backups?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. There is a chance. I've blown up a Pencilier glove from 12 to 13 twice in a row once.
Nice.
12 to 13, nice. Transposed the trace, 12 to 13, boom, again. Unbelievable.
Because Heart Von Leon doesn't drop the coins.
Yeah, oh yeah, true. You have to do like normal.
Well, normal Von Leon is more value if you want more gloves.
Yes, yeah, it's kind of strange how that works. But
so you buy like 3 gloves per run.
That's pretty good. The only extra thing that I was thinking about. Are you doing Madman Ranmaru every day?
Yep.
Keeping all the shoulders?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah. Well, also the shoulders for the other classes.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure, because that is something that is pretty unintuitive. So a lot of people, including myself, in the beginning, don't do that, and then.
I think I threw one away, and then I heard you mention one. Just like keep the other classes because they work. And I was like, what?
Yeah, it's not intuitive at all. Oh god, there was something else I was gonna mention. Ooh. It was going from here to here. Come on, brain. What did you see? Shoes into Abso, big switch during an event. No, I lost it. Must not have been important. Yeah, I guess does that for like short term, mid-term, long term?
Yeah.
Is that enough? Do you feel like you got enough to go on?
Like Star Force up to 15 first,
Mm-hmm.
and Cube Emblem to 2 lines. Get Abso.
Mm-hmm.
Star Force that.
Oh yeah, don't forget the Scrapyard and Dark World 3 weeklies. Those are going to be very important, yeah. Sooner you get those started.
I need those for Abso gear.
And that's the extra thing I was going to say. Those items that you get from the weeklies are transferable through storage. So you can do it on multiple characters and transfer to speed it up.
Oh.
So if you have like a Kana, you know someone else who also has a Kana, they join you on their Kana, you join them on your Kana, and you help each other out, you double it up. That's
no, I just have the Mihal.
Well, let me give you a tip. People are more likely to party with you on a Kana than on a Mihal for a daily like that.
Oh, I'll level the Kana up to 200 soon.
Yeah.
Because it gives the boss damage for the card as well.
Yep.
And I'll get the Lumi to 200 at least, so I can do those.
Yeah, once you cut the time in half or in 3, then it becomes way more doable.
That's good. Yeah. Oh, you said reroll invulnerability with circulators.
Yes, that's going to be more expensive project, and I would definitely do that a bit later after probably after the point where you have the emblem and the secondary cube, and when you have pretty much like all your other stuff on like going to unique and staying, the stuff that's not unique yet. And then either around or in between the point where you are getting your Abso weapon, like around that point.
Right. Okay.
It'll depend on how much money you have, but like if you have like 1 or 2 bill, the thing with the circulators is just you gotta like set an amount apart. It's like gambling, really. You just say like, okay, I'm gonna spend at most 2 bill, and then you just buy a bunch of circulators, and you don't buy all of them at once, right? Because then you get stuck with them. So you buy like 5 at a time or 10 at a time, whatever. And then if you get it, you stop, and then if you don't get it in those 2 bill, you also stop. So to protect yourself from just going completely bankrupt. And then you're like, okay, and then maybe 2 weeks later when you have some more money, you try again, or, or if you get closer to the Abso, you're like, okay, I'm going to stop now, do the Abso first, and then after that, go back to it, something like that.
All right.
I think we covered everything then.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, we have 30 seconds left. Any last things you want to say? Actually, 30 seconds off of the hour and a half. Perfectly timed.
No, that's it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, would you recommend this to a friend?
Definitely. Especially when you get it free.
It's not free, okay? You have to be a sub.
Just get a gifted sub.
Yeah.
That's my tip.
Yes, you can get a gifted sub and just watch the stream enough, then you can technically get it for free. It's true, chat. All you have to do is watch a lot and always be here so that you can get you can pick up those gifted subs. Okay, well then I wish you the best of luck. If there's anything, I'll upload it to YouTube and everything so you can watch it back to make sure you didn't forget anything. But I think you were taking notes a little bit during that as well.
Yep. I wrote my priority list down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if there's anything you feel like you missed out on or any question that didn't come up, you can always just hit me up on Discord, and then I'll help you out as much as I can. And I'll always be streaming, so you can always ask me there anyway.
All right, lovely.
Okay. Well, then I wish you best of luck with the game that's now up, and I'll see you in chat.
Have a good rest of your stream.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right.
Bye-bye. Wow. Isn't that high production value? Isn't that amazing? No, wrong one as well. This one? This one. Ha! That's horrible. Okay, back to this one. Isn't that amazing, guys? Wow. Look at that. All of these questions, some of those easy, some of those a little bit harder. This person already knew a lot about the game, probably because they already watched a lot of my videos and a lot of my content. Yes, so if you would also like one of these progression sessions, check the description of the stream. So there's a few ways to get it. You can either be a sub in a channel and buy it with the channel points you get from watching the stream, which you can get the sub as a gifted sub for free, so it's possible to get it completely for free, or you can request it with the points if you buy the sub yourself, or you could do it through direct donation, either the big progression session like this one, where I go over the whole account and we go over everything, we go over sections of the game. People who are newer to the game might need more things explained. This guy already knew a lot of stuff, so we went more over details of things and a little bit further in the game, more projected towards the late game and possibly even a little bit end game. But if you're more early in the game and you just need some of the specific stuff explained where you think you know everything, but you just want to make sure, and there might be some, some crossing some T's, dotting some I's, we can do that as well. Or if you want to talk about anything else, we can also do like a boss review. Maybe you've recorded yourself doing a boss and you keep getting bodied and you just want to get some advice on what to do, where to stand, where to go. We can do that as well. A little bit of play-by-play analysis. But anything like that, make sure you follow the description and hit me up on Discord, and we can set it up. And until now, see ya. Cool. Amazing. Wow. Fucking amazing gameplay.